There's another question we get asked a lot. What is a listing agent? What do they do? What are their responsibilities? We put together a quick video. It's meant to just serve as a brief overview of the responsibilities of a listing agent. I think you'll pick up some tips. Enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. A listing agent, I consider a listing agent to be kind of the quarterback for the whole transaction. What normally happens is a home owner will contact you, and hopefully you're the only one that they've contacted because you are already somebody that they know, like, and trust. Every now and again, it'll be a competitive situation, meaning that the homeowner will call several listing agents and you have to compete. And then you'll have to go give a listing presentation. When you do that, you're going to go in there and just lay your whole game plan out for them, and they will pick the agent that they feel is best suited for them. But normally, that's really not the case. And so we'll get started with this. Your responsibilities as a real estate agent, and I just picked out a few of them that really stands out to me. So we'll go over it real quick, kind of skim this video so it's not 2 hours. Determine the fair market value of the property. What does that mean? That means that through either a pre-listing appraisal, which is why it's important for you to have a good relationship with a real estate appraiser, because a lot of times you can just call them and they'll help you out with this. Or sometimes it may cost you $200 or $300, whether or not you want to pay that or the seller pays that. It's completely negotiable. Or you can go back and prepare your comps. You can sit down, pull all the sales, do all your equations, and figure out what you feel is the best fair market value for that particular home. Secondly, advise the seller on pricing strategies and marketing strategies. What does that mean? Pricing. Do we price it high so that we can get beat up and come down to a lower point? Do we price it low and create a bidding war where we may be able to run past the point that we want, which isn't always the best thing because you still got appraisals to deal with. But nevertheless, those are two different strategies. Marketing strategies. How are we going to market this thing? Are we going to buy Facebook ads? Are we going to boost it? Are we going to just simply put it on the MLS? Are we going to do neighborhood flyers, neighborhood mailers, all kind of different marketing strategies? And we coach a lot of agents on that, and there's some really good strategies out there too. I love hearing the different ideas. You got to create and place the listing on a multiple listing service. MLS, you probably know what that is. The MLS is kind of the database that is associated with the National Association of Realtors. Those guys, the MLS that's the backbone for all listings in America. What happens is you take all the data. There's a lot of information that you as an agent is going to have to put into that MLS listing. The MLS system at that point, through an IDX feed, pushes it out to Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia. If you have a website, a personal realtor website, I'm sure it has an IDX feed, and that's how they shake hands. That's all stuff that you're going to have to take care of as well. And there's a lot of requirements and restrictions on that. Market the property to potential buyers and buyers agents. It goes hand in hand with what we were just talking about. How are you going to do this? How are you going to push this out? What is your marketing budget? Are you going to shoot home tour videos? Are you going to do open houses? Those type of things. And once your marketing is out there and it starts working, showings are coming in, hopefully you get some offers on it. You're going to have to present those offers to the seller and somewhat negotiate on their behalf. That goes without saying. So in other words, when the offer comes in, it comes into you. You look it over, and then you can do some preliminary negotiations. We're going to talk about negotiations in a second, but you can do some preliminary negotiations back and forth with the agent. Usually, unless your seller wants every single offer brought to them, then that's what you do. Once an offer does come in, though, you will review it, look it over, and if you are fortunate enough to have the buyer where you double-side the transaction, then you have to draft all that paperwork as well. The negotiation part of it, you will assist in the negotiations. You're going to be the lead negotiator for your listing. And so understanding how these negotiations work, you really always want to try to make it a win-win, because it generally suits the seller and the buyer
when the buyer feels like they got something, the seller feels like they got something on it, and it makes it a good, smooth transaction all the way through. Because what happens on these transactions, if you go hard on these transactions and you feel like you have just dominated the deal and you got every single thing you want, a lot of times throughout these transactions, some things may pop up where you need some leniency from the other side. And if you were a jerk and you didn't show any leniency on your end, it very well could come back to bite you. Coordinate the closing process. What does that mean? Exactly that. You ensure that it gets to a title company, title insurance is there, all the closing documents are taken care of, and the closing happens on time and without any problems. And then I didn't put this on there, but then you obviously assist in the closing, meaning you chase down any things that the title company may need, and then you accompany your seller to the closing. And then after that, I should have threw that on there, do some follow-up, because this is where a lot of agents mess up. They just abandon these guys. They ghost them. And I think the statistic is somewhere like 87% of all home sellers, well, actually, all home sellers and buyers would use the same agent again, but agents just turn it off. They don't ever go back to them. They don't ever stay in contact with them. So hope that helps.
Thank you for watching that video. If there's some topics that you want some other videos made on, feel free to leave them in the comments below. You understand how this algorithm works. If you'll like and subscribe to it, it helps out these little channels like us. We should have some coaching opportunities and some e-courses in the description below if you need anything like that. But again, thank you for taking your time to watch these videos.